Commander Eileen Zhao leaned forward in her chair, eyes locked on the sweeping starfield displayed across the observation window of the ESS Frontier. The vast, silent void pressed against the transparent panels like an ancient predator, reminding her of the deep mysteries that lay in wait between the stars. Engineering teams had just decoded fragments of a signal believed to be centuries old, and every instinct told Zhao that its origin held more significance than any of them dared imagine. The Frontier hovered at the edge of a distant star system, awaiting final orders from Earth for an expedition that would change the future of humankind. Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Rajesh Malhotra, walked over with a handheld datapad. "Commander, the signal's point of origin is confirmed," he said, eyebrows lifting in unconcealed wonder. "It's coming from the 8th planet in the O3 system. Preliminary scans suggest a massive structure beneath the planet's crust, possibly artificial. The readings, well, they're off the charts." Zhao nodded, her calm mask concealing the rush of excitement she felt. The United Earth Council had dispatched the ESS Frontier to investigate this anomalous transmission, since the cryptic pulses had stopped and begun again in a cyclical pattern. Many had assumed it was random cosmic interference, but the decoding had found repeated references to advanced technical schematics. Whoever, or whatever, had built that structure had left behind a message intended for someone able to understand it. "Let's not keep it waiting," Zhao finally replied. "Prepare the lander. We'll assemble a team to go down. I want to see for myself what's hidden under that surface." A few hours later, Zhou's expedition team soared down in a sleek, shuttle-sized craft. They pierced the hazy atmosphere of the 8th planet, battered by raging windstorms that tossed the lander from side to side. The planet's surface looked barren. Black deserts of gravel and jagged rock, carved out by centuries of punishing weather. But the real secrets lay underground. Sensors pointed to an entrance just east of a towering cliff, where a faint energy reading glowed like a wavering beacon. When the team disembarked, they found themselves standing in a desolate canyon. The wind whipped their helmets, scattering sand against their visors. Despite the seeming emptiness, Zhao could sense something significant was waiting just below their feet. A rocky outcrop concealed the entry passage, and the team's instruments identified a preternatural alignment of geometric patterns in the rock. Beneath these patterns, they detected an elevator-like structure, large enough to accommodate a small group. "Commander, take a look at this." Malhotra tapped on the console near the outcrop. The symbol carved into the stone glowed faintly, responding to the team's presence. The structure rumbled, and a split in the ground slowly appeared, revealing a metallic shaft descending underground. Energy readings, once faint, surged to a steady hum. It was as though the facility recognized their arrival. "Everyone on alert," Zhao ordered, shining her suit's headlamp into the depths. "We don't know what security measures might be active after all these centuries." They stepped onto the circular platform with deliberate caution. As soon as all of them were on, the platform lowered with a gentle hiss, the carved stone walls sliding up around them. At first, darkness pressed in, broken by shaky beams of light from their suits. Then a series of orbs embedded in the walls began to glow, illuminating enormous corridors stretching beyond sight. The architecture was both sleek and ancient, with symmetrical curves and angles impossible to replicate with standard human methods. Once the platform locked in place, they found themselves in a cathedral-like chamber. Every footstep echoed. Mesmerizing patterns adorned the walls, telling a story of a civilization that once thrived. Directly in the center stood a towering monolith, a metallic column etched with symbols that matched the ones in the decoded signal. Zhao edged closer, scanning the device. Her console flickered with a surge of data. Faint lines of text coalesced in her heads-up display, lines that read, "Portal to Infinity. Only the worthy shall unlock the path." Lieutenant Malhotra ran his hands over the grooves. We've seen references to advanced shield generators, inertia dampeners, advanced energy distribution. This might be a central database." His voice reverberated through the enormous chamber. "Commander, it's possible we've just stumbled on the entire blueprint of an alien civilization's technology. The magnitude, it's incredible." A ragged breath escaped Zhao's lips. He realized this was no simple find. Humanity was locked in a tense standoff with the Gracchus Imperium, a warlike species from the galactic rim. The Imperium's ships often outclassed Earth's fleet, and many believed it was only a matter of time before humanity lost the conflict. Now, if the secrets within this monolith were truly as advanced as the preliminary data suggested, Earth's entire strategic landscape might shift overnight. As the team investigated further, they discovered that the monolith was merely the central control for a vast subterranean complex. Opening doors with elegantly cryptic panel interfaces, they traversed long corridors filled with stored artifacts in meticulously organized compartments. Strange machines slumbered in alcoves. Strange machines slumbered in alcoves. As elders, design the Alliance, the rover others no bigger than a palm. With each new room, they uncovered advanced cooling systems, gravitational field manipulators, power conduits that could harness vacuum energy. Some artifacts emitted a hum as if waiting for activation. It took weeks for the initial expedition to catalog even a fraction of the site's wonders. Science officers studied a spherical generator that seemed to override quantum uncertainties, effectively creating a near-limitless energy supply. Security teams moved in, erecting temporary barriers to safeguard the technology from sabotage or theft. Yet as word spread back to Earth, the tension grew. Rival factions within the Council demanded immediate deployment of the newly discovered tech in the war effort. Others urged caution, fearing potential unintended consequences. Still, the Council authorized carefully controlled research under Zhao's supervision, trusting her judgment to glean insights without endangering the expedition. The turning point came when Dr. Amelia Hassim, an expert in theoretical propulsion, hypothesized that certain schematics corresponded to a revolutionary drive system. She claimed it could allow ships to traverse vast distances nearly instantaneously by creating micro-wormholes. To prove her theory, she constructed a prototype in one of the complex's auxiliary labs. The day they tested it, half the staff gathered in anxious anticipation while the rest whispered dire predictions of catastrophic collapse. Yet the prototype generated a stable wormhole for 2 whole minutes. The test drone launched into the shimmering portal and emerged unscathed at a designated location hundreds of light years away. Within a month, Earth had outfitted a single starship, the ESS Vanguard, with the new wormhole drive. Commander Zhao watched from the frontier as the Vanguard spun up its thrusters in orbit around the 8th planet. A violet ripple distorted space-time directly in front of the ship. With a flash, the Vanguard vanished. An uneasy hush fell across the comm channels as everyone waited for news. Then, a triumphant transmission arrived. They had jumped to the outer fringes of Sol, Earth's home system in seconds. History had been rewritten. Almost immediately, the Council pressed for militarization. The war with the Gracchus Imperium worsened by the hour. With entire colonies destroyed on the contested border worlds, humanity had to act. So, from that moment onward, Earth's shipyards worked frantically to reverse engineer and incorporate every piece of technology they could replicate from the alien trove. New antimatter beam cannons replaced outdated plasma weapons. Amplified energy shields rendered many conventional missiles useless. Advanced hull alloys could now withstand direct hits from Gracchus dreadnoughts, and the wormhole drive gave Earth's fleet a swiftness the enemies could not match. Just 1 year later, humanity's Star Armada launched into Gracchus-controlled space, transforming a desperate defense into a crushing offensive. Zhao, elevated to admiral for her critical role in the discovery, commanded the newly christened supercarrier, ESS Aegis. The Aegis contained the pinnacle of reverse-engineered alien technology, from pinpoint warp cannon arrays to regenerative hull plating that self-repaired using nanites. It led a mighty formation of cruisers, carriers, and frigates in an ambitious campaign to strike at the heart of the Imperium. Intelligence reported that the Gracchus had mobilized their largest fleets to repel the invasion. Victory was far from certain. As the colossal Earth fleet approached the perimeter of the Gracchus Empire, tensions soared. The star-littered view screen on the Aegis displayed an overwhelming enemy blockade. Entire columns of warships hovered around the main planet, each vessel bristling with lethal armaments. Admiral Zhao stood on the bridge, arms folded, as she considered the best strategy. "Activate the enhanced scanning system," she commanded. 2 seconds later, a flood of data highlighted critical weak points in their formation. The new targeting sensors, adapted from the ancient Trove, identified enemy reactor signatures with pinpoint accuracy. The battle began swiftly. The Gracchus warships advanced, raining heavy ion fire upon the Earth Armada. But as soon as the barrage reached them, shimmering hexagonal shields absorbed the impact with minimal drain on the Earthship's energy reserves. Under Zhao's orders, the Earth vessels retaliated with beam cannons of unprecedented power, tearing through Gracchus cruisers in spectacular cascades of sparks. And then the wormhole drive unleashed a final masterstroke. Entire Earth squadrons blinked behind the enemy lines in an instant, a maneuver that was once unthinkable. Caught off guard, the Gracchus blockade fractured in confusion. Within hours, the Imperium's proud fleets lay in ruins. The Aegis and her exotic arsenal overshadowed every attempt at counterattack. Humanity had gained the upper hand, not merely through brute force, but through a technology so advanced that the Gracchus could not adapt. Propaganda broadcasts spread across the galaxy, warning potential adversaries that the Terran Alliance now wielded the power of the ancients. Planets that once scoffed at Earth's attempts to claim equality in interstellar politics hastened to sign pacts or remain neutral. The cosmic balance of power had tilted. For the first time, humankind's flag stood triumphant among the stars. But with victory came an unsettling disquiet. On the bridge of the Aegis, Zhao pondered the alien monolith's cryptic message: "Only the worthy shall unlock the path." Had humanity proven itself worthy, or had they merely seized forbidden power? In the months following the war, further research uncovered evidence that the ancient creators might have left their technology not as a gift, but as a challenge, a test to see who would discover and responsibly handle such immense capability. Whether humans had passed that test remained uncertain. Earth's expansion continued at an unprecedented pace. Colonies sprouted across star systems once deemed unreachable. Entire new industries revolved around the power sources discovered beneath the O3 planet's surface. In the remote Ligris sector, scientists established an outpost dedicated to unraveling how to harness zero-point energy. The breakthroughs seemed endless, and the line between Earth's native scientific prowess and alien satellites blurred. Drone factories churned out Guardian satellites, each more powerful than the last, ensuring that no new threat would dare risk confrontation. Yet, amid this prosperity, some worried about dependence on an alien legacy that few truly understood. Admiral Zhao frequently revisited the underground complex. She descended into the timeless corridors, passing row upon row of sealed chambers. Many doors remained locked, their inscriptions either lost in translation or riddled with warnings. Each time she returned, she felt a new unease, an echo resonating from the monolith's supernatural hum. On her latest visit, she arrived to find Dr. Hasim and Malhotra poring over a newly revealed data core. The devices displayed simulations of an ever-expanding wave of destruction, a star-consuming phenomenon. According to translations, it was something the ancients had battled in the galaxy's distant past. They had built these underground vaults to safeguard knowledge for future civilizations, hoping that someone, someday, would finish what they started. Zhao realized that humanity's ascendancy might be only the beginning of a larger cosmic conflict. She had seen echoes of old codes describing an unknown force beyond the known galaxy, a threat that had once nearly annihilated the ancient builders. Were they truly gone, or could they return? If they did, would even the star-shattering weapons of Earth stand a chance? Despite these looming questions, Earth's leaders persisted in leveraging the ancient sites to cement their authority over allied star nations. The reconfigured Earth Council, now boasting influence across dozens of star systems, swelled with ambition. Demands for further planetary annexation overshadowed Zhao's pleas to prepare for unknown perils ahead. Military factories churned out more supercarriers and dreadnoughts, each bristling with alien technology turned lethal. The galaxy, once a vast frontier filled with wonders, began to look more like a chessboard on which Earth's unstoppable armada played the dominant role. Diplomacy came to rely on intimidation. Peace, ironically, hung on the precarious deterrent of unstoppable might. Still, quiet voices persisted in the corridors of power. They remembered the days when humans faced a formidable foe and survived only through luck and inherited brilliance. These advisors warned that the next crisis might not be one that brute force could resolve. Meanwhile, expeditions ventured beyond charted territory seeking new ruins that might offer knowledge to confront the rumored cosmic threat. Reports came in about star systems riddled with remnants even older than the O3 site, though none matched the scale of the original find. Fragments of inscriptions hinted at a scattered net of ancient strongholds, each housing a piece of a grand puzzle. A year after the Imperium's downfall, a forward scout vessel named the ESS Horizon transmitted a mutilated distress signal from deep within the Corinth expanse. The ship's final message included cryptic imagery, swirling energies saturating entire star sectors, and partial sightings of colossal constructs drifting in empty space. Then the signal went silent. Fearing catastrophe, the Council assembled a task force. Admiral Zhao volunteered to lead it, suspecting that whatever had consumed the horizon might be related to the Ancients' old foe. In a rare moment of unity, the Council approved. They recognized that if the rumors of an apocalyptic threat were true, only Zhao's proven leadership and mastery of alien secret technology could save them. The task force reached the far edge of the Corinth expanse after weeks of careful wormhole jump. The region was eerily calm. Dust-laden star systems drifted in darkness. It took the combined sensor might of a dozen cruisers to uncover the location of the Horizon's last stand. They found the battered hull orbiting a dead star. The ship's interior was scorched as though by extreme radiation. Every deck was deserted, filled with drifting debris. Then they found a single coral-like mass fused to the command center walls. Its organic metallic composition defied known science. Analysis suggested a disease or parasite that fed on energy sources. The faint traces of code on the walls matched the monolith's references to the Galaxy Eater. In a sealed data recorder, they discovered the Horizon's final moments. The logs showed an immense wave of distortions slamming into their ship. Strange filaments latched onto the hull, draining it of power. The crew scrambled to activate the advanced Earth technology, but the wave adapted, neutralizing the shields within minutes. Something out there could evolve in real time, manipulating energy fields. The Horizon had never stood a chance. Anxiety rippled through the task force. The monolith's war warnings were no longer theoretical. News spread across the galaxy, fueling both dread and hope. Earth, with its advanced arsenal, would surely rise to the challenge. A rallying cry echoed through the colonies. This was exactly why the Ancients had left their technology behind. Yet Zhao and her team recognized that replicating a technology was not the same as truly understanding it. The Galaxy Eater, if that was indeed its name, might exploit any weakness or over-reliance on systems they hadn't fully mastered. Sequestered in her private quarters, Zhao studied holographic readouts of the alien metal parasite recovered from the Horizon, searching for any clue to outmaneuver this adaptive threat. In the dead of night, the monolith's inscriptions weighed heavily upon her mind. She remembered how the Gracchus Imperium had been defeated with surprising ease Once the elements of the ancient trove were fully deployed, it was possible the ancients' technology was unstoppable in conflict with conventional adversaries. But the prospect of a living cosmic phenomenon, one that consumed stars and adapted to advanced weaponry, demanded a different approach. She realized Earth would need more than brute force. It would need untested cooperation among the galaxy's species, sharing resources to piece together fragments of lost knowledge. And so, in a decisive turn of events, Admiral Zhao reached out to the battered remnants of the Gracchus Imperium. She invited them, and any other species once hostile to Earth, to join a new coalition. Many older Earth politicians balked, calling it a betrayal to ally with an enemy who had nearly destroyed them, but in time, diplomatic channels bore fruit. The Gracchus, now subordinate, agreed to share centuries of accumulated data on exotic cosmic phenomena. Other smaller species joined, enticed by Earth's advanced starships but also by the freedom from fear. The entire galaxy seemed to shift its posture, preparing for a confrontation that transcended minor political squabbles. Deep beneath the surface of the eighth planet, the ancient complex rumbled with renewed energy. Using newly gleaned insights, scientists there discovered hidden nodes within the monolith. These nodes revealed layered instructions for forging a device known as the harmonic resonator. It involved calibrating certain hyperfrequency waves to resonate with the fundamental energies that the Galaxy Eater apparently harnessed. The notes were cryptic, but they implied that the ancients had devised a non-lethal method to repel or even disrupt the cosmic devourer's feeding cycle. If built correctly, it could save entire star systems without risking an arms race that might only strengthen the entity. Building the harmonic resonator required materials scattered far across the galaxy, including crystals found only in Gracchus territory, and wave harmonics data locked away in the archives of lesser-known civilizations. Under Zhao's guidance, an unprecedented collaboration formed. Gracchus engineers, Terran scientists, and other alien specialists pooled their expertise. Fleets mobilized not for war, but to transport key components from distant corners of space. It was an alliance that few had ever thought possible. When the device was finally assembled, it dwarfed even the mightiest dreadnought. Suspended in space above the eighth planet's surface, the resonator gleamed like a luminescent ring of metal and crystal. Millions watched the live broadcast as the array powered up for its final test. Tethers connected it to the planet's subterranean vaults, drawing upon the ancients' quantum power source. Excitement hung in the air. Success promised salvation, while failure could doom uncountable lives. Admiral Zhao stood by the control console, flanked by representatives from multiple species, her heart pounding as she pressed the activation switch. A growing hum built around the resonator. Violet arcs blossomed between the ring segments. Sensors registered a distinct fluctuation in the local quantum field, as though space itself trembled with newfound energy. Then, in a grand crescendo, the ring stabilized. A harmonious tone echoed across the communications channels, resonating within the watchers' chests. It was beautiful, yet tinged with a haunting undercurrent. The ancients' leftover technology responded in kind, unleashing a vortex of dancing lights across the ring's circumference. By combining humanity's drive for innovation with the mosaic of knowledge from former foes, an achievement worthy of the ancients was complete. Just as relief spread through the observation teams, danger arrived. Long-range scanners reported a wave of cosmic anomalies entering the outskirts of the system, presumably the Galaxy Eater's vanguard. Swirls of black energy churned, devouring starlight. Panicked warnings flew from starships perched on the system's outer perimeter. If the device did not work, the entire star system would be reduced to a barren husk. The armadas of Earth and its new allies formed up in orbit, ready to buy time should the worst occur. But everyone knew that conventional firepower would be useless if the wave adapted. With methodical calm, Zhao ordered the activation of the resonator's prime function. The ring glowed with intensifying brilliance. Suddenly, an immense pulse radiated outward, a symmetrical pattern that spread across space at impossible speeds. To the astonishment of the observers, the swirling black energy began to flicker. Tendrils slithered in confusion, strained by the sudden shift in the underlying quantum frequency. Before the watchers' very eyes, the unstoppable wave receded, as though forcibly repelled by a grand cosmic force. Cheers erupted across the comm lines. Humanity had not merely conquered its immediate foes. It had learned to hold the line against an existential threat that once vanquished an ancient civilization. In the months and years that followed, the new alliance refined the harmonic resonator's design, stationing replicas at strategic points around the galaxy. Though the Galaxy Eater remained a persistent threat, the Allies had found a proven defense that required unity rather than conquest. Freed from the anxiety of imminent destruction, the newly formed coalition began to reevaluate Earth's role. Through the combined strength gleaned from the ancient vaults, humankind had forged an era of unprecedented interstellar leadership. Yet Zhao believed the ultimate victory was not in mere domination, but in shepherding a collaborative future, guided by the knowledge that absolute power came with an equally absolute responsibility. And so it was that the cryptic signal leading to mysterious ruins had shifted humanity's destiny forever. No longer just one more fledgling race among many, humanity arose as the guardian of advanced wisdom left behind by a civilization lost to time. From the deserts of a dead world, they had unearthed more than technology. They had discovered a new sense of purpose, forging alliances from the ashes of conflict. Though many star systems now flew the Terran flag, it was not force of arms alone that truly cemented humankind. It was the capacity and willingness to shoulder the burden of knowledge that promised at last a brighter fate for every species that gazed at the stars, hoping to endure the unknown that lay beyond.